Welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. When you're ready to transform your sales for today's transforming market, we've got you covered with your host, the queen of cold calling and founder of Salesology, award-winning author, speaker, sales trainer, and coach, Wendy Weiss.
Hi, welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. And I'm your host, Wendy Weiss. I am the founder of Salesology, creator of the Salesology prospecting method, and I am also known as the queen of cold calling. And today I have a very special guest, my friend and colleague, Ivana Taylor from DIYmarketers.com. She's all about showing entrepreneurs how to grow their business without blowing their budget. And today we're actually going to talk about how AI is changing prospecting and outreach, because every small business owner knows the pain of cold outreach. Endless spreadsheets. I hate spreadsheets, bad email addresses, and just hours spent chasing people who never reply. So the good news is that AI has changed the game. And so I'm going to hold Ivana's feet to the fire. And in this conversation, we're going to break down how to use AI to quickly build and clean prospect lists, set up smart outreach sequences, and make sure you're only spending time with the leads that are most likely to say yes. So welcome, Ivana.
Hi, Wendy. I am so happy to be here. And I don't know if other people are like this. If I hear AI one more time.
One time too many.
It's one time too many. And yet, it is such, remember how, well, I'm old enough to remember when computers started being a thing and laptops started being a thing and so on and so forth. And then you had to learn different things. And once again, no matter how old you are, we are all going to have to learn AI and how to integrate it into our sales and marketing process.
Absolutely. So before we get into that, though, let's get a little bit of your backstory and DIY marketers. How did that come to be?
Well, it's really interesting because I started DIY marketers back in 2008. And back then it was before all of these amazing online tools were a thing. And people would come up to me and go, how did you do that? How did you do that? And I did it all for free. I built websites for free. I had amazing business cards. I had all kinds of things because I was into it and found all these kinds of tools to do that work. Well, it is now 2025 and we are overwhelmed with tools. And I am still committed to helping you do your marketing on less than $17 a day, because that is how much we have. Even though it's costing more, we still want to stick to that number. And my goal continues to be to help you choose the best tools and how to use them. So sort of navigating that tool landscape so that you can get the most value for the time and money you spend.
Okay, well, less than $17 a day sounds really good to me. So let's just jump into it, because as you know, Ivana, and I think our audience knows, my thing is prospecting and business development. So how has AI changed the way businesses build prospect lists? I know I've had my experiences trying to build lists, but you're the expert. You tell us.
Well, Wendy, I'm going to tell you my tale of marketing woe. And I think you should share your tale of marketing woe, because as you mentioned, we are both friends and colleagues, and we share things with each other. And I have shared things with my marketing friends, and my marketing friends have shared things with me. And can I just tell you, anything you see out there that sounds too good to be true is too good to be true in the world of digital marketing. It is expensive. And now digital marketing and Facebook engagement, social engagement, podcasting, I don't know what lead acquisition, prospecting acquisition method that you have tried or that people are pitching you. What is it that you and I know, Wendy? What do we know for sure? direct sales and marketing is the winning strategy, Wendy. Is it not?
100%. 100%. There are all these tools out there, processes, things people want you to buy that don't actually get you where you want to go.
You have paid and tried them all.
Yeah.
Right? We have tried LinkedIn. We have tried LinkedIn outreach. We have tried emailing. We have tried webinars. What have we not tried? We have tried all the things.
Yes.
All the things. But one thing I think people forget is that those things tend to be spray and pray. Those things take your time to create and launch with absolutely zero guarantee that you're going to get that prospect back. And so I was thinking to myself, which you already knew, I am a proud graduate of Wendy's 3X Appointments, which is a fabulous course. And what I've learned is, back to the AI and a prospect building, in the world of marketing, you hear people say like, oh, do a lead magnet, do a webinar, do like all these things, and leads will just come pouring in. That is not exactly as true as it may have been a few years ago. And I really struggle with that gap time, because I feel like I've invested all this time, and then there's that disappointment. Feels like that slot machine marketing I talk about. You throw your money and your effort into something, you pull the lever, and then you hope and pray. And I don't like that. But what I've realized is that I have now been using a variety of AI tools I have been testing to literally build my own email list. Like, seek it out, find it, right? Validate it, and then create a prospecting sequence based on 3X appointments, and seeking those people out on 3X appointments. Only I've decided to leverage AI to do that. And I've done a couple different tools, and it kind of doesn't matter which one you use so much as it matters that you are very, very clear about who it is that you're looking for, right? So that you can structure that information. So if you're not clear about who you're looking for, you're going to get a lot of garbage, right? And you will still get garbage, but where it saves you time is in what I will call manual web scraping. I think your method is, why don't you talk a little bit about that so I'm not getting it wrong? When you talk about finding prospects, you talk about going to Google and doing specific searches. Say a little bit more about that, and then I'll sort of add the AI component.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you an it depends answer, because the first thing is, as a trainer, I see how hard it is for business people to identify who they're looking for. So that I'm 100% with you. That's where it always starts. You need to be incredibly specific about who you're looking for. And old school, we would buy a list, go to a list broker, or go, to a directory, Zoom Info. There are all sorts of places that one can buy a list, depending on the market that you are in. For example, we do a lot of work with commercial real estate brokers. They are all very accommodating, and they put all of their contact information on their websites. So very painstaking, laborious, time-consuming, but the data is available. So we hire somebody to go and put that data together in a spreadsheet for us. But I'm hearing from you, there's a really easier way.
There is. Now, of course, there are tools that have some free plans or that you can pay for, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. But what I want to talk about is to do the project that I did. So I'm going to tell you the project that I was doing, the case study that I had was in a very, very specific niche with some very, very specific people who were experts in their field. They were in the health and wellness space. They were experts in their field, but they were not, it's almost like they were working to not have you contact them. Right. Emails were incredibly difficult to find and all this stuff. But remember, the first step is knowing that niche and the business that you're after. I started with ChatGPT, which is a great place to start, right? Because what you want to do inside of a platform like a ChatGPT or Claude, like either one, or Gemini, right? Any of these big ones, right? Is that you can use that AI model to help you find that ideal person and help you phrase that request in a way that the AI will understand. So I just want to go over some really, really simple, like a simple formula. The first one you want to do is tell the AI who they are. Like in my case, I said that you were an event producer looking for speakers. These are the speakers you're looking for. These are the criteria that I'm looking for. So kind of practice that out inside of your ChatGPT or your Gemini or your Claude or like any of those general ones. Try to get that very, very specific request down. Once you've got that, the next tool I like to use, and there's a free version of all of these, right, is a tool called GenSpark. GenSpark combines all of those tools and it has a very, very cool feature in that it can make spreadsheets. The other ones can make spreadsheets too, but there's just something special about GenSpark's ability to make spreadsheets. So now that you have your description, tell it that you want it to make a spreadsheet and go search for these people. You can even tell it how to search and so on and so forth, right? Like you can tell it, I'm looking for speakers in about menopause, for example, right? And it's going to find those people. You could tell it to go search for websites that have summit in the name. You can tell it to do all kinds of things, right? It is an iterative process. But once you've gone through that iteration and figured out how to get that spreadsheet, you'll have that forever, right? And I recommend that you open up a document and that you write those things in there so that you have them forever. They don't get lost. You can improve upon them and so on and so forth. But the aha moment for me was when I used GenSpark and it created this entire spreadsheet. I wanted first name, last name, title, so on and so forth. I wanted a description. I actually, even for segmentation's sake, so I had like a group of categories that I told it to segment. And then I also had I had a field in there called expert in. Now you can make this work for you, of course, but it was just a short phrase that I knew that in my email, I was going to say, because you are an expert in insert merge field, right? Like whatever this thing is, we think you would be a great speaker for us.
I have a question because right now you're talking about you got their names and you're contacting them. The question that I have as somebody that does direct outreach and teaches direct outreach, were you able to get phone numbers, cell phone numbers, email addresses? Because if you don't have that information, you can't do the outreach.
Correct, right? So I requested now the email address can be insanely difficult to find. I'm not going to lie to you people, right? I just told you this is the most challenging case I have had, this project that we're talking about. It's like some of these people were doctors. Some phone numbers were way more easier to get than emails because the website will have a phone number often, and those phone numbers, they can find the phone number much, much easier than an email. Emails are insanely more difficult, but not impossible. The best way, and I hate to say this because not that I hate to say this, I think that there has been this whole conversation about how AI is going to take entry-level jobs. Wendy, there is no more entry-level project than what you and I are talking about right now, right? That this is the most. You don't have to have specific knowledge or training. You don't have to have anything to create a spreadsheet, an outreach spreadsheet. What the problem is that you do have to know what is the best way to get, like it really struggles. The AI tools can do some batch processing. It really likes working in batches of like 10, 20, 30, 50. Once you get a much larger spreadsheet, like I created a spreadsheet of 1,500 people, it starts to peter out. It just has difficulty. Can you get those things? You absolutely can. And I'm gonna go into a little bit about a couple tools that are out there that do a wonderful job. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect, okay? Because I've even had emails that I have found on specific websites and Facebook pages that have bounced. So nothing is perfect, okay? But you can use certain tools, especially if you're in a B2B space. There are tools like Apollo.io. There is another one called Hunter.io, and another one that I highly recommend called Clay.com. That is where you can, let's say you get a list of names and companies, and let's say LinkedIn, let's say I want to create a list of, I want a first name, last name, company, website, and LinkedIn URL. So these other data enrichment tools can find that information for you faster, but you will need either a website, a company name, a website, and or a LinkedIn profile. And we all know that the more of those, and let's say even a description, when I said expert in or some kind of description of that person, could be a title, could be, a variety of things. The more information that you've created that you want to go searching for, you have, the better your information. Even with that, again, it's just not you sitting there trolling websites hour by hour. Instead, the way mine worked is first I generated first name, last name, website, and any social media handles, right? I asked for an email. A lot of emails came back blank. I found that I could go to perplexity.io or like a Gemini or heck, even Google if you type in like, and just say email, contact email. Sometimes you'll get those,
Yes.
right? So it's like this mixture. I hope that's not confusing, Wendy. Correct me here if I'm confusing, but it is definitely the research portion I have found to be faster. And these tools, these outreach AI tools, can also build you that database, right? And they're not that expensive, right? You can use the free versions and get like 50 contacts a day or a month or like whatever their limit is. That would be, I would recommend that you try the different ones because I think they all have access to different databases, and some are better than others. Some are more updated than others. You know how that goes, right? So I think it's a step up from just buying a list.
Yeah.
Because you're more involved in the creation of that. And I actually had a rant on LinkedIn about how AI was not going to replace these entry-level jobs because in the world of sales and marketing, the most important thing that you have is customer information. You have got to know that data. And even though you're not typing it in manually, you are doing some searching with AI. You are doing what I cannot stress enough how important it is to go through each one of those rows and look up that website, read that website, make a note to yourself about that. The interacting with data and getting your hands dirty with that data is the most valuable work that you can do, in my opinion. So I'm going to throw it over to you and see what your comments are on that.
Right. Well, I actually have a couple of questions because what I'm hearing from you is that we can go into ChatGPT and or other tools and basically create a prospecting list with all of the criteria. I mean, if I'm doing cold outreach, I'm going to go with the industry. I'm going to go with the geographic location. I'm going to go with the title. I'm going to go with, I want the phone number, the main number, I want a cell phone number if I can get it. I want an email address. I want the website. And if I could get all the social media, especially LinkedIn, because we're B2B, that's all the information that I definitely want to get. And you're telling me, this is what I'm hearing, that we can get it.
You can get it. Here's a secret tip. Go over to appsumo.com and just search on like outreach or sales and marketing and look for they have software out there that is a single price. So like for $69, I had tested one called Next something, or I had tested a couple of them. It wasn't for me, but the reason it wasn't for me in this project was because I wasn't looking for B2B people. I think I will say the consumer, to get private emails, consumer emails, those kinds of things are a huge challenge. B2B is way ahead of the game. So if you're doing B2B outreach, this is what you want to do. You can use the tool to build your list. You can build your list manually, so to speak, using tools like ChatGPT, GenSpark, Gemini, Claude, whatever. But just know that it's not going to be a perfect list. You are going to get bounces, or, just like anything else, right?
Well, even when you buy a list, there are wrong phone numbers, non-working phone numbers, emails that bounce. So you always have to scrub.
But this is going to be so much cheaper. Every marketing person, I think other than you, salesperson, will say, don't ever buy a list. Don't buy a list to spam and send things to. But if you craft that list, if you curate that list, then you can do some sales and marketing outreach and automation. And some of these tools have wonderful outreach, email outreach features that I love. You can build, I happen to use a tool called nimble.com. I've tried a bunch of these other ones and they weren't right for me. That doesn't mean they're not right for you. Like I said, Apollo, Hunter, all of these email outreach tools, just type that in, search them out, see which one is right for you. Nimble was right for me because Nimble has a wonderful feature that sends the email straight from your Gmail. And I think some of these other tools will do that too. So it's a one-on-one communication, even though it's one-to-many. And you have that record in your, Outlook or Gmail, whatever you use. So you can, if you are customizing these outreach emails, you can create a sequence. And this is Wendy's system, which I totally love, because an email is like, what did you call it? It's like a direct mail that they read, right? So I did an introductory one using some of your scripts, right? And then if they opened it but didn't click, they get one thing. If they click, they get something else. If they ignored it, they get another one. You can do all those things. I typically only did about 3 or when I say 3 to 5, I mean 3 to 5 emails in the sequence. They may not get all of them, right? And so I found that to be not only efficient, but I found it to reduce error. I know all you people are perfect, but I have sent emails where I didn't paste it, didn't change something in the email. When you're doing a lot of them and cutting and pasting, you're gonna make a mistake. And this really reduces the likelihood of your making that mistake.
So all of these tools that you are talking about, you'll give us a list of some of the tools you've talked about today, and we will put them in the show notes. So if you're interested, I'm speaking to our audience now, if you're interested in checking out some of these tools, as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, go to the show notes. We're going to have the list of tools there. Click on the links and check them out.
Perfect.
And I know, Ivana, there is so much more to this topic. Would you put your hand over your heart and promise me that you will come back and we will talk about, once you've got that list together, how do you use AI to really customize that outreach?
Perfect. Would love to do that.
Okay. We'll get Ivana back here to talk about that. And I know you have a gift for our listeners. So tell us about your gift.
I do. As we've been talking about outreach, but guess what? I use the same thing. I told you I use Nimble for referrals because even referral partners need outreach. And so I'm going to offer my full-blown $500 referral course that will also help you build a list. Just for your listeners, there's a special promo code that you have to use. The link will be in the show notes.
Absolutely. It's called Business by Referral. And just FYI, I use it. It really works. So we're going to put that link and the promo code in the show notes. So as soon as you finish listening to this podcast, go to the show notes, click on the link, put in the promo code. You will be really glad that you did. And you have been listening to Salesology Conversations with Sales Leaders with my very special guest and my very special friend, Ivana Taylor of DIY Marketers. And if you found value in listening to today's podcast, then please think about one sales leader, one business owner, one entrepreneur, somebody that you know that you think might also find value in listening to this podcast. And please do share the link with them. And until we meet again, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, big bills.
You've been listening to Salesology, Conversations with Sales Leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. Be sure to follow so that you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review and be sure to share it with your friends. Tune in every week for more exciting insights and wisdom on transforming sales. And until next time, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, very large bills.